Hey guys, Dominic from Genuine Reels. Martin Scorsese's new film Silence is in theaters now, starring Liam Neeson, Andrew Garfield, and Adam Driver. And what better time to look back at Martin Scorsese's previous films and rank them. Now, I'm not going to be doing Martin Scorsese's full filmography because there's just too many films, so I've narrowed it down to 10. Some honorable mentions that I'd like to throw at you. Gangs of New York, I really love it. Leonardo DiCaprio, Cameron Diaz, Daniel Day-Lewis, good movie, did not make this list. And another Leonardo DiCaprio Scorsese collaboration, Shutter Island, a nice fun thriller, suspenseful, horror-esque in a way movie. I really enjoyed both of these movies. There's a bunch of other Martin Scorsese movies that I did enjoy, but I'm not going to sit here naming them all. So let's jump into the top 10 Martin Scorsese movies. At number 10, Cape Fear. This 1991 remake of a 1962 film features Robert De Niro as a maniac and Nick Nolte as the guy he's stalking. Counselor, come out, wherever you are. And what is not to love about this film? Scorsese does something different in this movie that he doesn't do in a lot of his films, and that's that he uses an old-fashioned 60s score that is basically right out of the original. And this movie, it's not perfect, but it definitely is an enjoyable time. You have Robert De Niro as a lunatic. When is that not good? At number 9, The Aviator. The Howard Hughes biopic starring Leonardo DiCaprio is an engaging one. And though most people know Scorsese for doing his violent gangster films, this is a nice change of pace and a very intriguing story about this famous director. At number 8, 1973's Mean Streets. This is Scorsese at his very beginning. This is before movies like Goodfellas and Casino, and it really shows you what Scorsese was about to embark on, the films he was about to do. You have Harvey Keitel in here. You have Robert De Niro in what I think is his first collaboration with Scorsese, and you just get to see the humble beginnings of this director, and you get to see how from the very beginning he used popular music like the Rolling Stones and other classic rock in his movies. He does it here, and without this movie we wouldn't have movies like Goodfellas. At number 7, this is going to catch a lot of people off guard, The King of Comedy. Now, this movie from 1982 is kind of a black sheep. It gets forgotten. It doesn't get talked about. But it's kind of a complementary piece to Taxi Driver, where it has the same kind of essence to the story, where it's a guy played by Robert De Niro basically going crazy. But instead of being like Taxi Driver, that it's told from that dark side, this has a little bit of a lighter side to it. It's got a lot of comedy in it. You got Jerry Lewis in there, which is interesting to see. And Robert De Niro, this might be one of his best performances, and definitely one of his most overlooked performances as Rupert Pupkin. At number 6, 2013's The Wolf of Wall Street. Now, I just mentioned how King of Comedy was kind of a complimentary piece to Taxi Driver. I feel that Wolf of Wall Street is the same for, let's say, Goodfellas. This is another story that's a lighter approach to pretty serious material, although you see the real glitz and glam of these stockbrokers who are basically ripping people off. Leonardo DiCaprio gives a very good performance, and there's a great supporting role from Jonah Hill. This is definitely one of my favorites from Scorsese, and a movie I never get sick of. Alright, now we're in the top 5. Let's go. Next up, Taxi Driver. Of course, the classic Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese collaboration from 1976. This is one that really put De Niro on the map as a great actor. He gives a haunting performance as Travis Bickle, a guy that becomes obsessed with a young hooker, and some other stuff happens. Don't want to spoil it. If you haven't seen Taxi Driver, what the hell are you doing? Go watch Taxi Driver. At number 4, The Departed. This film, directed by Martin Scorsese in 2006, got him his first Oscar win, which is ridiculous. Is this his best movie? No, he probably should have got the Oscar a few times before that, but this is definitely a time when all the right magic came together. You got Leonardo DiCaprio, you got Matt Damon in there, you got Jack Nicholson at the top of his game, and one of his really last performances that we've seen him in. He also got supporting roles from Mark Wahlberg, Alec Baldwin, and Martin Sheen. This is a movie with twists, turns, and some crazy shit happening. I remember being in the theater and seeing how this movie ended and just being like, whoa, oh, oh. Definitely a great flick, The Departed. At number 3, Casino. This movie was the third time that Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Scorsese worked together on a film. There's always that debate people have, that's what's better, Goodfellas or Casino. I personally like Casino slightly better. Although I understand why people don't take it as serious as Goodfellas, it was very similar in a lot of the material, and it came not too long after, so people always looked at it like the kind of, little brother of it. Casino is a great movie. It's pretty underrated from what I see. I just personally love it. I mean, Joe Pesci's at the top of his game, De Niro's at the top of his game, going against type in this movie and playing the more quiet role of Ace Rothstein, while Joe Pesci's just being the maniac that we all love to see him be. But it is equally as good as Goodfellas, which is my number 2 movie. This is the movie, the magnum opus, if you call it, of Martin Scorsese. It's a gangster movie as far back as I can remember. I always wanted to be a gangster. You got Ray Liotta in there with a great narration. You got a great engaging story of Henry Hill. De Niro, top of his game. Joe Pesci won the supporting actor Oscar for this movie, and it's a classic for a reason. If you haven't seen Goodfellas, what the hell are you doing? Are you living under a rock? Go watch Goodfellas. And the number 1 Martin Scorsese movie, 1980's Raging Bull, the true story of Jake LaMotta, the boxer with issues, to say the least. Joe Pesci in here playing a supporting role. De Niro, of course, playing LaMotta. This black and white, beautiful movie is haunting. It's funny at times, and it's such an engaging biopic, one of the best biopics that's ever been made. This, to me, is Scorsese's best movie. The cinematography, the beauty of the shots, the screenplay, the direction. This is Scorsese defined. This isn't a gangster movie, but it's very, very reminiscent of his future movies like Goodfellas and Casino. You have both Pesci and De Niro, like I said, in there together. And the haunting, maniacal performance of Robert De Niro as Jake LaMotta, flipping out, flipping his switch, a haunted man. And, he didn't hide anything. If you read the book Raging Bull by LaMotta, he really told it as it was, and Scorsese took his story and made it into a great movie. And from what we're hearing, Scorsese may do a Tyson movie starring Jamie Foxx, and if it could be as good as this movie, I am in 100%. So that's my list, guys, of the top 10 Martin Scorsese films. Do you agree with my list? Where would you rank your movies? Would you change them up a little bit? Is there a movie on here that did not make the list? Let me know. Did Color of Money get gypped? I like it, but I just didn't feel it should be on the list. Let me know in the comments below. What do you prefer, Casino or Goodfellas? What is your number 1 Scorsese movie? Tell me what you thought of his newest film down below in the comments. I'm going to be trying to check it out soon. If I have checked it out, I'll put a link here. If I haven't checked it out, I'll put a link for something else, and I'll put a link to subscribe. So guys, check out my other videos, check out the sketches, and thanks for watching.